Hello, it's the Pageant Nerd here with the breaking news of the past week, that being, of course, the new owners of the Miss Universe organisation. About a month ago, we had vicious rumours swirling that a Thai billionaire, Jakrajutatip, was on the verge of acquiring MUO from IMG, which had owned Miss Universe since 2015. At the time, they appeared to be just that, vicious rumours, but in the past couple of days, Anne has held a press conference appearing in front of media in Bangkok and with Paula Sugart, president of the Miss Universe organisation, appearing via Zoom call to confirm the news. Anne's media company, JKN Global Group, reportedly bought Miss Universe from IMG for $20 million. And in doing so, she becomes the first woman and first non-American to own MUO. So in the spirit of my current series, TPN by Request, I'm giving you my thoughts because several of you have asked for my opinion on this very matter. Just a quick reminder that if you like my content, please hit subscribe, ring the bell, and give me a thumbs up. And if you're in a position to do so, hit the super thanks button to support this channel. If you're a regular viewer here, you would know that I did a video on this topic when those rumours were swirling. You can check that out by the link in the corner. But now that we have confirmation and we have a clearer understanding of the vision of Anne and her team, I thought that it would be pertinent to give you some more specific thoughts. And to recap the issues that I had raised with IMG's ownership and to see if they will be resolved by the new owners. At the press conference, it was revealed that the existing leaders of the Miss Universe organisation, Paula Sugart and Amy Emmerich, will remain in their positions, which personally I thought was a little bit of a surprise. I thought that there may have been the risk that the new owners may have come in and done what Elon Musk has done to Twitter and clear out the executive level of the team. But it would appear that Paula and Amy have won the trust of Anne, and at least for the time being, they are in charge to continue their work with the Miss Universe organisation. It will remain to be seen if their visions continue to align and if the innovation that has been promised, which I will get to in this video, is allowed to be realised. As I said, what I'd like to do today is to quickly recap the issues that I had raised with IMG's ownership of MUO and to see whether JKN Global Group will address those concerns and to see if their innovative thinking is in line with a lot of what you and I are thinking. The main issue that I had raised with IMG's ownership of Miss Universe was the fact that it operated at a bare minimum, reducing the activities and the length of the pageant itself, so the delegates really didn't have much of an experience when they were in the host city, other than hanging out at a hotel and going through rehearsals ahead of finals night. The annual telecast itself lacked any real showcasing of the host nation, which I guess in the end was no surprise why so few countries wanted to host the pageant, because really in the end the tourism benefits that were promised to them never materialised. Whether it was coincidence or not, but the staging of Miss Grand International in the past week highlighted what Miss Universe was like in its heyday. I think you'll agree that the opening number and the costumes and the staging were spectacular, and despite some rather childish behaviour and some immature graphics that were shown throughout the telecast, there were some really positive signs that Miss Grand International is staking a claim as one of the bigger international pageants of today. Of course, Miss Grand International is owned by Mr. Nawat, who is Thai, and just 2 days later, Anne held her press conference to announce her new acquisition of Miss Universe. So what will the self-proclaimed evolution of the universe bring? And selfishly, will it address the concerns that I have just raised here? Let's have a look at some of the main news revealed. There'll be a new creative director of Miss Universe, a long-time collaborator of Anne, Torn Chatchavalvong, who has worked with her on several TV programs in Thailand, including Project Runway. In another bit of exciting news, Malwad, the current crown producers of the pageant, will continue in their sponsorship, although there will be a new crown from the 2022 edition onwards. It's said that the winner of Miss Universe will be a transformational leader, What that actually means remains to be seen. And for some pageant fans around the world, there were concerns that it would mean the end of their dominance of Miss Universe, or at least their regular placements and occasional victories. Personally, I think that Anne is really going to try and make it a fair playing field, and she did say that there would be no favoritism, no rigging. It would be equal opportunity for everyone, and that is also extending the accessibility of Miss Universe to married women, pregnant women, mothers, and the continuation of transgender contestants being allowed to compete, and Anne herself is a transgender woman. So I tend to think that these fears are, at least at this point, unfounded, because I would like to think that the new owners are going to try and retain, if not elevate, the integrity of the organisation. That may well mean that certain countries that have placed consistently may have to fight a little harder for their placements, but I don't think it's going to spell the end of success of any particular country or region. While Anne's interest in acquiring Miss Universe reportedly started in 2020 following the Latinas' domination of that year's edition and the victory of Mexico's Andrea Meza, I would hope that thinking has evolved in the past couple of years, and that what she did say about no rigging and no favoritism is a sincere intent, and that the most deserving queens will place and win the title. It was also announced that the pageant would be staged in Thailand every 2 to 3 years to promote tourism in the country. Now, I know in my last video on this topic, I said that I hoped that the pageant wouldn't set up residency in the country because it lacks the diversity of travelling the world, which thankfully has been highlighted as an intention of Anne, and that the pageant will be an international one and will showcase many countries over the course of its ownership. And of course, the 3 times that Thailand has hosted the pageant, in 1992, 2005 and 2018, were all incredibly produced pageants, so I really hope that that will be continued in the times that it is held in that country. Continuing on that subject, and the host nations for 2023 and 24 are reportedly locked in already, which is music to my ears, because as you know in the previous video on this topic, I had said that IMG's lack of advance notice of where the pageants were being hosted was frankly unacceptable. So this is really nice to see that this has immediately been rectified. And yes, it might mean that Thailand is hosting the pageant regularly, but at least we'll have some certainty in some of the delegates, and the delegates will have certainty as well of knowing where they're going to be competing. The 2023 edition will be held in the 4th quarter of next year, meaning that the next winner will have a shortened reign, much like Andrea Meza did, but thankfully not quite as short. The pageant format will stay largely the same, although there might be tweaks here and there over the coming years. Anne has already announced that there'll be a gala in Thailand on the 7th of November, which will feature the Miss Universe executives, the current Miss Universe Harna Sandhu, and hopefully some former title holders as well, which really goes to show that there is investment in Miss Universe that was just frankly lacking under IMG. It's really nice to see that this gala is being held ahead of the next Miss Universe pageant to demonstrate the commitment that JKN Global has to the organisation and to the pageant, and it's not doing the bare minimum, as I've said I felt that IMG has done. There's talk of merchandise opportunities covering cosmetics, a water brand, private jet, hotels, penthouses and more. And it's already been announced that NBC will resume televising Miss Universe from the next edition in New Orleans in January. As we know, NBC televised Miss Universe from 2003 to 2014, so it's a welcome return to free-to-air TV in the United States. Telemundo continues to be the Latin network. In Thailand, the pageant will be televised on one of Anne's TV stations, JKN 18. There's also talk of a reality program, Road to the Crown. Let's hope it's not a repeat of the Trump-produced Pageant Place from 2006 and 2007, which basically pitted some of the title holders against one another. And of course, the return to NBC will hopefully mean that Steve Harvey is no longer in the mix for hosting duties. You know my thoughts on that. In short, I'm super excited about the innovative ideas that Anne and JKN Global have revealed just within the first few days of its ownership. If they are realised, it will be a vast improvement to the way that IMG owned and managed Miss Universe. Of course, a lot remains to be seen, but let's all hold out hope that Miss Universe will reclaim its status as the preeminent international pageant. Yes, this might represent a move away from Western ownership of one of the alpha pageants, but in my opinion, this is probably what needed to happen if Miss Universe was going to keep the standard and integrity and the glamour and the production values that we all know and love. Investment in pageantry and the approach to pageantry in countries in Southeast Asia and Latin America really is an alignment with the values that we as fans have for our international pageants. And so if this is what it takes to keep Miss Universe as relevant and popular as we want it to be, well, frankly, this is really the direction that it needs to go. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, please give me a thumbs up if you did, and I will be back soon with my next video in this TPN by request series. In the meantime, it's goodbye from me, the Pageant Nerd.